Are you saying that Jeremy Hunt is a liar?
Jeremy Hunt covered up from the House of Commons and from the country the true state of the public finances. He did that knowingly and deliberately.
So he's a liar? If he covered something up knowingly, he's a liar?
He lied, and they lied during the election campaign about the state of the public finances.
And
the worst thing is, Wilf, you know, it's even worse than that, because during the general election campaign, I was really clear that everything that I was putting forward was fully costed and fully funded. We had these pages in our manifesto that set out the limited tax changes we were going to make and how that would pay for example, 40,000 appointments a week extra in the NHS. The Conservatives during the election campaign said that they were going to cut national insurance further, that they were going to create a national citizenship service, that they were going to cut taxes for pensioners, that they were going to change the rules on child benefit, all the while knowing there was already a £22 billion black hole in the public finances. It is beyond reckless and irresponsible. And at a time when trust in politics is already at an all-time low, after Partygate, after all those contracts to friends and donors of the Conservative Party, to then mislead people in that way during a general election about what was possible, it is unforgivable, and they should never be allowed to have their hands on power and our public finances again.
So it's really interesting to hear you go as far as you just have. And I've been poring over all of the detail of this overnight. And, you know, there's clearly a lot of experts who do agree with some of the details that you're saying. When you're calling someone a liar, it's really important to have all of the backup information absolutely spot on. I just wonder whether the £22 billion figure is all legitimately a black hole, because as lots of experts have analysed overnight, £9 billion of that is the public sector pay increase, which is a choice. Now, maybe it was a choice that, based on the prior estimates, any government would have to make and had not been provided for. But it was a detail that we all knew about coming into this election, and it's just a choice that you've decided to make, maybe the right choice, that's costing £9 billion. Should it be more of a £10 or £11 billion black hole?
Well, first of all, even if it was a £10 or £11 billion black hole, it's still unforgivable. But let me explain why I include the whole £22 billion. It was the former government who gave the remit to the independent pay review bodies. And extraordinarily, this year, they didn't include in that remit a number for what was affordable. We didn't know that. I didn't know that until I became Chancellor on the 5th of July. We also didn't know until the 5th of July that the former Education Secretary, the Conservative former Education Secretary, had the recommendation of the Teachers' Pay Review Body sat on her desk when she was Education Secretary. She chose to do nothing with it. She could have said, that's not affordable, I reject it. She didn't. They put off those choices for the next government. But also analysis that I published yesterday showed that in the NHS alone, the economic cost last year of industrial action was £1.7 billion. So the cost of doing nothing and rejecting the recommendations of the pay review bodies, that cost is not zero either. The cost is significant for rejecting those recommendations.
Which I totally